Okay. So that kind of for me feels like, basically, if we're being consistent in one thing, why can't we be consistent in the other? And if we're not being consistent, we're still being consistent in some way. We're consistently not doing the things that we want to do or we're telling ourselves that we want to do. So at the end of the day, it just kind of comes down to self-reflection. And I know a lot of us have really busy lives. I know a lot of us, I know you guys might think like, oh, like this is her full-time job. But at the end of the day, like there are still 1,000 things that can get in the front of this or in the way of this, because I don't go to an office where I can unplug and stop what I'm doing. I don't go somewhere that is a guaranteed paycheck. No matter where you are in this business, you still have to find the time and set aside to create something here. So it's going to breed happiness. And I thought about this today with like discipline. Like, I don't know if you guys just feel better when you're more disciplined in your workouts and your nutrition. That's how you're going to feel towards your business. When we feel that sense of like fear or uncertainty or maybe guilt because we haven't been giving something as much as we want to give it, then we start creating things that aren't even there. We start creating fears that aren't even there. We start creating doubts that aren't even there. So the next time you feel like, yeah, guys, same. I always sometimes feel like I'm behind or I could have done more or I should have done more. But at the end of the day, we have to self-reflect and think like, did I show up at all? Did I have my focus on my vision today? And when you're just disciplined in that little bit, it's going to pay off in the long run. You're going to be more present. Your business will feel more successful because you're going to be showing up at a more consistent rate. You won't always be playing catch up. Okay, so we know we got to be consistent in our own journeys. I'm not saying we have to be perfect because we're not. That's not who we are. People aren't perfect. No one's meant to be perfect. But we need to be consistently sharing those moments, even the imperfect moments, even the moments where we feel like we can't get up and do our workouts, the moments where we're having success, and the moments where we're not. That's all stuff that we have to consistently share. And at the end of the day, you're going to be like, man, I'm really trying to fill this challenge group. And all of those posts that you posted about your journey are either going to be bringing people to you automatically or bringing you people to talk to consistently. It all works together. If you're not sharing your journey, you have nothing to reach out to people about. You have no names to write down on a list to even message. So you have to be sharing every single day. And it doesn't have to just be fitness, but it has to be something about your life. And it has to be specific. It has to be intentional. I struggled in the beginning with feeling like my social media was now going to be a business. I had this like weird feeling of like, I don't want people to just think I'm on social media because I run a business now. And I got this like really big stigma created in my head. And it stopped me from really opening up and really showing people, what I'm going through and what I'm doing and showing them that they can be a part of it too. And then I stopped to think, wow, I have social media to spread all of the things that I've been overcoming. I have social media to tell people that they actually can lose weight, that they actually can overcome anxiety and depression, and that they can actually run a business from home and be with their family and create an income without having the stress of a job that is sucking the life out of them. And they can create a vision and a dream and something for their family in the future. I started to look at social media like, not like, it's just my business or it's being controlled by my business. I started to think like, wow, how lucky am I to be able to share something like this business, this gateway on social media. So every day when I get up to post and I'm thinking about that consistency and I'm thinking about showing up, I'm thinking about those people that need to be watching me. I'm thinking about the people that might be waiting for me to post. You never know who is out there. You never know who is watching. And yeah, it's our job, but if you don't like to think of it as a job, don't. This is a avenue to create a lot of change in someone's life. And maybe it will just be that one person this month. What would you do if you could change someone's entire reality? Just that one person. Would you show up? Would you show up for them? So that's kind of what you have to ask yourself every day. But you're not going to have people to talk to if you're not posting that journey. Same thing with coaching. Same thing with who you are. I talk to a lot of people just about, being in a relationship with a guy who has a son, living in Florida and moving away, bartending, clothes. I talk to people about a lot of different things because I'm posting about a lot of different things. So that then starts that conversation. It builds trust. And then therefore, most of the time, people will join us just because they think we're cool or they want to be our friend or they trust us. So when you only show up here and there, that lessens that feeling of trust. We have to continuously be adding people on social media. If you're wondering why you're not really maybe seeing new contacts, or you're not having new, relationships form, ask yourself, and I'll be honest with you guys, I am not good at doing this every single day, but I really make sure I do this weekly, sometimes in bulk, sometimes here and there, but I'm always looking to create new relationships. That's like the number one thing. Because if you always just have the same eyes, then you're not creating a bigger funnel of people to see what you're doing. You have to consistently think to yourself, who can I form a relationship with today? Whether it's through a friend request or a new message, a happy birthday, or maybe complimenting someone, or just telling them that their post made you laugh your butt off. I do that a lot because now memes are like really funny and I don't know what else to tell people. So if they literally post a meme that I think is funny, I just respond. And on Instagram, it's even easier because we have Instagram story now. You can respond to someone's story immediately. And people are like so excited when you have something to say about their story. It's just like they're so proud of it. So remember that this business is about relationships. And, if you're pushing and you're wondering where to find people, think about who you can just create relationships with. You have no idea sometimes what that will turn into. So that's just something that's part of your power hour. And I'll break that down for you guys a little bit. I understand that not everybody's will be an hour, maybe half hour, maybe 10 minutes here and there. But what I started to realize in this business that is so hard to wrap our heads around sometimes is that friend request that I'm sending today can be someone that a week from now is going to like one of my posts. And then a week from then, I might finally, reach out to them after they've liked a few of my posts. We're going to start a relationship. I'm going to be talking to them. They're going to continue to follow me. And then as they do continue to follow me, I'm going to invite them. Now, sometimes that can be over a month, 2 months, 3 months. Sometimes that can be over a week. Sometimes it can be over 3 days. It totally depends on what that person's looking for and your relationship. But that's how it works. It has to be done like that over time. Nobody just slides in there and is immediately ready to go typically. Sometimes, but that person I've probably talked to before, if they're coming to me, we've probably talked before or they've been following me for a while. So we have to just wrap our heads around that kind of painful part of consistency, that it's not going to happen overnight. But if we just do the little bit every day, we are going to take so much weight off our shoulders. Imagine if you just spent 10 minutes every hour doing these little activities, adding friends on Facebook, commenting on things on people's Facebook, creating new relationships, inviting people, and following up with people. If you're wondering why you have no one to follow up with, this was me at a point. I was always like, why don't I have anyone to invite? They're telling me to invite to reach my goals. I have no one to invite. They're telling me to follow up. I have no one to follow up with. Why is that? And then it dawned on me because I wasn't inviting anyone. No one was telling me no, or not right now. So then I had no one to ask again. I wasn't inviting anyone because I wasn't creating relationships with anyone. So that's how it makes things easier. There is an action to do every day because of the action that you did the day before. I don't know if that kind of makes more sense. You will always have people to talk to as long as you talk to people the day before. So you always want that inbox to be buzzing. You always want your social media to have new people and new eyes. And on Instagram, that might have to do with stories. It might have to do with hashtags. Facebook, more so friend requests. The more you go and like people's stuff, the more you'll show up on their newsfeed. But it honestly does all come down to consistency. I made my life so much better when I was like, the only thing I'm focusing on today are the smallest actions. Social media and my workouts and personal development, and then the people. When I started focusing on people and just like who I can talk to that day, who could really benefit from this challenge group? Okay, who told me no, and I'm gonna go bug them until they tell me yes. I'm gonna show up again, and I'm gonna show up again, and I'm gonna show up again. And that confidence came from just continuously believing, consistently believing in what is possible here. And I don't know if you guys caught that Melanie Mitro video in our page, which was really awesome. But she just made a lot of great points about how we can become even better coaches in our groups to help people see more results. And the more you do that, the more confidence you're going to have to share what's possible. Natalie said this to me once, and it was like, pew. She was like, you cannot afford to not do some type of development daily. Every day that we don't do these actions, we take 2 steps back. And sometimes I accept that. It's the end of the day, and I'm like, I didn't do everything that I should have done today. And I don't let that dictate what my tomorrow looks like. I'm just like, okay, I am focused on my vision. That is not going to derail me. And I am going to do whatever I have to do tomorrow to get back on track. It's the same as our nutrition and our workouts. No 3-hour workout once a week is going to, maybe if it's 3 hours, that's a long time. No 1-hour workout once a week is going to show us the change that 30 minutes every single day will. I would so much rather spend 30 minutes to 15 minutes every day than once a week trying to bust my ass and see no results and feel frustrated. That's the way you got to think about these daily actions in your business. I guess the last thing really would just to be kind of take the pressure off. This is not everything. I think Bill Murray said this once. We're better at everything when we're relaxed. Do you show up and feel relaxed, or do you show up and feel like, I don't want to mess up, I don't want to say the wrong thing, I don't know what to say on social media, I'm really afraid my challenge group's going to suck, I'm really afraid I'm going to say this, I hope this was right? We have to be willing to fail a little bit. I failed for almost 1.5 years. I showed up and I was hitting Success Club, but I was not moving my business to where I needed to move it to match my vision. So to me, that was me not matching up to where I wanted to go. But at the end of the day, we got to have the vision. Do you know where you want to go with this? Because it's not about, I want to hit Success Club or I want to hit Diamond, I want to run this business. You have to know what you want your life to look like. And that could mean just a couple extra dollars a month to cover debt. That could mean, using this business as accountability and having groups monthly because that's going to help you. Do you want to be home with your kids? Do you want to have a college fund for them? All of these things are incredibly possible. But things take time and things take consistency. And you'll trust time, and you'll trust consistency when you know where you're going. I did not trust consistency, and I never showed up because I didn't trust the process. I didn't trust that those little teeny weeny things were going to pay off later on down the road. I didn't trust that, and I didn't trust that that social media post was really going to make that much of a difference. I didn't really trust that conversation I didn't have, or that person that I've been wanting to talk to, was really going to make that much of a difference. But it really, really, really does. So I hope this gives you guys a little bit better of an idea of how take the pressure off, relax, show up daily so you're not scouring and stressed and full of fear. When we just do things a little bit more every day, we're also pumping that confidence muscle. We're also pumping that belief muscle. And instead of always trying to play catch up comes from guilt. Catch up comes from fear and not feeling good enough. So I just want you guys to know I've been there. I'm still there sometimes. These last couple of days, I've been like, why am I just so just in a funk? I'm afraid. What am I afraid of? And then today I was like, what am I even afraid of? It's as soon as we feel that feeling, I do this in a lot of other areas of my life. When I feel afraid of something, I create problems that aren't even there. I don't know what to say on social media. That's just because I'm afraid. I don't know who to message. That's just because I'm afraid. So I want you guys to reflect on that. Do you need help with a power hour? Or I feel like the daily things to do? I can only see one face, so I keep talking to you, Paige. I'm like, did you find this helpful?
I mean, I found it helpful.
Good.
Because I have definitely been struggling with the whole stressing about what to do daily thing. Obviously, I haven't been around because I've been picking up 30 hours a week, insane. Yeah. So, stressing, when I do have those 10 to 15 minutes, stressing about what I need to do or making sure it's perfect or whatever has been, I think, affecting me.
I just want to, because I appreciate you telling me that, because it reminds me of, I remember this, just working bartending and working 50 hours a week, trying to hang out with my boyfriend, crying a lot because I missed home. And it was actually a very effed up thing, because my mindset was so all over the place. Because I hated my job. So, and it doesn't mean that you hate your job, but my whole other life was stressful, and it was painful, and it was so hard to turn on the switch of okay, now I need to be inspiring and show up and know what to say and know what to do. And I really just started to when I had that moment of to plug into this business, I focused everything I could on how grateful I was for that 10 minutes or even that 15 minutes, because in my one job, I was not ever making a difference in anyone's life. I was actually killing people's insides, to be completely honest. But I always looked for this silver lining, and I began to always make it about the people. So if you're struggling to find those windows, or you have those windows, don't get stressed out about all the different things that you could possibly be spending your time on, because I know that's super overwhelming. Focus on, who can I talk to? Who can I go talk to? Because at the end of the day, this business is about relationships. I spend 80% of my day in my inbox. And whether that's 20 minutes and it's 80% of 20 minutes, or it's 80% of a couple hours, some days that's all I get done. And it might just be for an hour, even though this is my full-time job. Some days that's all I get done. But that I know is moving my business forward. That and yourself. So I don't know if you can find personal development to put in the car. Maybe, I know a lot of people listen to it during their workouts.
That's what I'm going to do. I like that.
My advice for everyone is always have one takeaway a day. So I used to sit down and read personal development and be like, okay, I'm done. Like, whoop. And like, just like brush my shoulder off. Like, okay, I did my deed. But it's, you know, it's so much different if you're like, okay, what did I take away today? And apply that, you know, no matter what it is, read it out loud to someone, post about it. But I guess my point is, no matter how much time you have to make sure you're taking care of yourself every day. And you have to make sure that those moments that you do have, talk to people. And to make your lives also a little bit easier, I know you love to plan, Paige. Sierra, I know that you're pretty organized as well. I'm not, so I can't say I can teach you how to be organized, but I can tell you that the more you're like knowing what your next day looks like. So my life, I know like I say this a lot, but it's freaking chaotic. Like we got a 7-year-old running around a lot. My boyfriend's shifts are all over the place. So I never know when we're going to be spending time together. So my life never looks the same every single day. But I think about, okay, so we're going to be doing our workout tomorrow in the morning. So that would be a good post for the morning. And then tomorrow night, you know, maybe The Bachelorette's going to be on and I'm going to talk about how I'm watching that. Or it's team call night. So that's a good night for me to post about the business. Wednesday, Woman Crush Wednesday. All right, maybe I could shout out a challenger tomorrow. So that's stuff I used to do when I worked, especially because if I was like going to be at work that Wednesday during the day, for example, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to already have this post ready. Write it up in my notes section, go to the bathroom, copy and paste, click. Swear I did it every single shift. Night shifts, if I knew I was going in and I wanted that post to go up at 8 o'clock, I wrote it before I went. I had the picture ready, ran into the bathroom, copy, paste, post. So it's all about just like being aware of like, what is my day going to look like? And maybe you can do that on a Sunday for the week. Maybe you can do that the night before. But it's going to save you a lot of like stress of like, what do I talk about? Because the moment we get like that, we take all of the good energy out. The moment we're like panicky or like stressed or not relaxed, like Bill Murray said, we're taking all the joy away. And people aren't seeing it in us. So that feeling isn't infectious. Does that help? I would really love, because I feel like this team has not even begun to tap into their potential. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. This is a really incredible group of girls. And I feel like if we can come together as a team this month and focus on consistency, we're going to blow this month out of the water. So I want every single person to get off this call and message me something that they are going to be consistent with every single day. I don't want to just say social media or conversations, but whatever you specifically have struggled with staying consistent with. And I'm going to do the same thing. For me, it's going to be new relationships every single day, adding, liking, and commenting again. Because I've gotten away from that on Instagram and I've gotten away from that on Facebook. I'm only messaging people that like my posts, and I need to be going out and talking to total new people. So that's my thing. I want every single person to message me after this and tell me their thing, and we're going to hold each other accountable. Okay? Yee! All right. Well, that was fun. Does anyone have any questions? Last little thing I'll tell you is the reason why only some people change their lives or see success is because they're consistent. That's the difference between the person that gives up and the person that sees things through. Just be consistent. Take the pressure off yourself and be consistent doing the right things. Don't just be consistent in one area or, creating graphics. This team's not bad about that. But that's just an example of like, my business isn't growing if I spend an hour and a half making pretty pictures. It's growing if I'm talking to the people that are looking at those pictures. Okay? So, all right. Well, this was good. Does anyone have any questions, or did everybody do hard labor today? If you didn't, that's okay. Stream it once this week. It was hard as crap, but it was also kind of slow. I was like, me and my boyfriend were like, are we just really strong from Shift Shop, or like what is this? Like, why was this not that hard? But it was like arms, so I'm sure he'll bring more heat. But be sure to tell your challengers, be sure to put it on social media that this is actually going to help Texas for every stream. So
I couldn't get my internet to work for it. I was so sad.
that is a bummer. That happened to us of Shift Shop week, and we ended up having to do a 20, because the only DVDs we had were 22 hardcore. So we did that, and then we did the agility workout from Hammer and Chisel to make it equal 50 minutes.
I had a Shaun T downloaded, so that's what I ended up doing.
Perfect.
What equipment is required for this? Do you have to have?
Yeah, it's a little more. We actually used our table bench, which is so not safe, and so why I didn't video the workout, because I don't want to.
I could do that, because that was my only issue, because I was going to do, because I'm doing Shift Shop.
Yeah.
With my challenge group, but I was going to do it too, at least like you said, a couple days this week, but everyone was posting that they had like a workout bench or the ball, and I don't have either one of those.
This is actually a really good opportunity to talk to people that like to go to the gym. Show them what's possible with our workouts, because I think a lot of people think we just do cardio, but I'm like, or you can't be a gym goer. And so, if you've ever talked to somebody that loves the gym, or someone that loves the gym, but maybe they want to switch it up and they want to get this Beachbody On Demand membership, there's a bajillion weightlifting programs, and Sagi is one of the ones that is pretty big in that. So this could be a good opportunity for somebody that A, already has that stuff, or B, loves going to the gym, to kind of get involved. Sorry. That helps. Yeah, you need a little bit more equipment. It's one of those things where I don't know. Eventually I'll invest in a bench. That's not my number one priority. But I still think it's doable. Like a ball is like really cheap. They're like $15. And you can always modify workouts. I mean, I laid on my bean bag today, so
I'm getting a bench. My father-in-law told me this weekend when they were down here that he has one that I can have.
Good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm eventually going to have one.
That's awesome.
Just not right now.
I understand.
I have to go get it.
Yeah, it was good. And then Clean Week will be out with Megan Davies, so that's going to be exciting. My next challenge group starts the 11th. If you guys want to invite people to that this week and kind of do some follow-ups and push to sign some people up this week, then you can totally add them to my September 11th challenge group, or create your own for later in September. So, let's change the lives. Let's have some fun, let's not stress it. Like, get out there, share your story, talk to people, and make a difference. Sometimes I'm sitting around like it sucks that I'm just this one person in this world. Like, what do I really have to offer? And then I think about what this business gives me the opportunity to give to the world. And that inspires me every single day. And to know that we have a team that can do that together, let's do that together. There's no greater feeling than doing it together, than just feeling alone. So if you're worrying about something, struggling about something, share it and get it off your chest with your team. Right? We're going to run out of time. Sorry this cut off. Love you guys. Send me what you want to be accountable and consistent with. Bye.